Ever noticed how so many people talk about escaping the rat race, but somehow most never do? It's like we're all running on the same treadmill, trying to go faster but never really moving forward. We get a raise, buy a bigger car, move into a nicer apartment, and somehow the finish line just moves further away. So why do people stay in the rat race? Let's unpack that, not with judgment, but with honesty. Most of us don't start out wanting to be trapped. We start out with dreams. We picture freedom, travel, time with family, doing work we love. But somewhere between our first paycheck and our first mortgage, the system gets us. Think about it. The moment we finish school, we're told to get a good job. That job gives us a steady income, and that income gives us credit. Then we use that credit to buy things that tie us to the job: a car loan, a phone plan, rent, maybe a student loan, maybe a mortgage. It's not a conspiracy. It's just how the modern economy is built. In the US, the average household has around $103,000 in debt, according to data from the Federal Reserve. That includes mortgages, student loans, credit cards, and auto loans. When you owe that kind of money, your freedom shrinks. You can't just quit your job even if you hate it. You're locked in. And that's the first reason people stay in the rat race: debt dependency. Debt makes you feel like you're living well, but it quietly owns your time. Here's the second reason: lifestyle inflation. When people earn more, they don't usually save more, they spend more. A study by Experian found that 61% of Americans who got a raise saw their spending increase within 3 months. It's human nature. You work hard, you want a reward. You tell yourself, I deserve this. But every deserve purchase adds another link in the chain. That new car feels great for 6 months, then becomes another bill. That upgraded apartment looks amazing until rent day. And the more we earn, the higher our minimum lifestyle becomes. At one point, a $40,000 salary felt like success. Now, even 6 figures doesn't feel enough. We keep adjusting our expectations upward, chasing a sense of satisfaction that never quite arrives. You know why? Because satisfaction doesn't come from stuff. It comes from autonomy, from control over your time. But autonomy doesn't sell well, and the system doesn't reward it. Let's talk about the system for a second. When schools were designed in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, they weren't built to teach financial freedom. They were built to create reliable workers. Factory discipline required people who could show up on time, follow instructions, and repeat tasks with consistency. And that mindset carried into the modern corporate world. We're trained to be good employees, not wealth creators. We're graded on obedience, not creativity. And when we finally enter the workforce, we're told work hard, get promoted, save for retirement. It sounds safe, but it's a 40-year plan to maybe enjoy your life at 65. Meanwhile, the average life expectancy in developed countries is around 77 to 80 years. That means most people spend about half of their waking adult life working for someone else, saving for a retirement that might last only 10 or 15 years. That's not freedom. That's survival with a vacation plan. But here's the tricky part. Even when people realize this, they rarely leave. Why? Because comfort is addictive. The rat race gives you predictability. A paycheck every 2 weeks, health insurance, structure. And even if you secretly hate your job, that predictability feels safer than uncertainty. You might dream about starting a business or investing in real estate or building something online. But then the voice in your head kicks in. What if it fails? What if I lose everything? That fear keeps millions of people exactly where they are. And fear isn't irrational. Most small businesses fail within the first 5 years, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's not a comforting statistic. So people trade risk for predictability. They choose the known discomfort of the rat race over the unknown discomfort of risk. Now let's talk about something subtle: cultural pressure. We live in a world where success is measured by appearances: new phones, designer clothes, expensive vacations. Social media amplifies that pressure. Scroll through any feed and you'll see friends posting their best moments: new cars, engagement rings, trips to Italy. You rarely see the credit card statements behind those photos. So subconsciously, you start comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. And to keep up, you spend. That spending keeps you tied to your job, and the cycle continues. Economists call this the keeping up with the Joneses effect. It's not new, but social media has made it global. Now you're not just keeping up with your neighbor, you're keeping up with a million strangers online. And here's the irony. Many of the people you're trying to keep up with are also struggling. Nearly 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, even those earning $100,000 or more per year. That's not just low-income households, that's the middle and upper middle class. They're running just as fast on the same wheel. Let's pause here for a second. If you're listening to this and thinking, yeah, that's me, you're not alone. Every year, surveys show that a majority of workers feel disengaged from their jobs. Gallup's 2023 report found that only about 23% of employees worldwide are actively engaged. That means 3 out of 4 people are basically surviving, not thriving. But here's a deeper layer: identity. For many people, their job is their identity. Ask someone, "Who are you?" and they'll say, "I'm a lawyer," or "I'm a teacher," or "I'm an engineer." Not, "I'm a creative person," or "I'm a problem solver." We tie our self-worth to our job titles. That's why quitting or changing direction feels terrifying. It's not just about losing income, it's about losing who you think you are. And rebuilding identity takes courage and time. So even when people see the rat race for what it is, they stay. Because stepping off the wheel means rewriting your life story. That's hard work, emotionally and mentally. But let's flip the perspective for a moment. There are people who escape. They don't necessarily become millionaires overnight, but they change their relationship with money and time. They start by understanding something powerful. Money isn't just for spending, it's a tool for freedom. When you build assets that earn while you sleep, you start buying back your own time. For example, someone who saves and invests $500 a month in a broad index fund earning an average of 7% annually could have around $600,000 after 30 years. That's not fantasy, that's math. And with that, you have options. Or take someone who builds a small online business earning $1,000 a month after a year. That might not sound like much, but that's $12,000 a year you don't have to earn from your job. That's freedom in small doses, and freedom grows. But again, most people never start, because to start, you have to slow down the treadmill first, reduce expenses, pay off debt, live below your means. And that goes against everything society teaches. Society says if you earn more, spend more. Freedom says if you earn more, own more of your time. It's a mindset shift. It's moving from consumer to creator, from employee only to investor, from survival to strategy. Now let's talk about one more reason people stay stuck: illusion of progress. Many corporate jobs are designed to keep you striving. Promotions, titles, performance bonuses. They give you little dopamine hits that make you feel like you're moving forward, but often your lifestyle cost rises with every step up. Your golden handcuffs just get shinier. A $10,000 raise doesn't mean much when you buy a $12,000 car upgrade. A corner office doesn't mean much when you're working 60 hours a week and missing your kid's soccer game. You might be climbing the ladder, but if it's leaning against the wrong wall, you'll never reach fulfillment. And this isn't just a personal issue, it's a systemic one. Governments and corporations rely on consumer spending to keep economies growing. In the US, consumer spending makes up about 68% of GDP. That means the system needs people to keep buying, borrowing, working, and repeating. If too many people suddenly became financially independent, the system would slow down. So it's not built to encourage you to leave. It's built to keep you running productively. But here's the good news. You don't have to escape the rat race completely to gain freedom. You just have to understand the game and play it differently. For example, instead of upgrading your car every 3 years, keep it longer and invest the difference. Instead of maxing out credit cards for vacations, build a travel fund from passive income. Instead of chasing titles, chase skills, because skills compound faster than promotions. Financial literacy is the real exit map, and it's not taught in school, but it's learnable. In fact, the earlier you start, the easier it gets. Someone who starts investing at 25 only needs to save about half as much each month as someone who starts at 35 to reach the same retirement goal thanks to compound growth. Time is the most powerful financial advantage you'll ever have. So if the rat race feels endless, remember it's not about running faster, it's about changing direction. Now let's talk about the emotional side, because escaping isn't just numbers, it's mindset. You have to unlearn what you've been taught about success. Success isn't a fancy job title or a luxury watch. It's waking up and knowing your day belongs to you. It's being able to say no without fear. It's having enough, not needing more. But that kind of success requires discipline in a world that rewards distraction. You'll be tempted constantly, new tech, new trends, new must-haves. And marketers are experts at making you feel behind. The average person sees between 6,000 and 10,000 ads per day, according to recent marketing studies. Every one of those ads whispers the same message: you're not enough yet. And if you believe that, you'll keep running on the wheel, buying things to fill a gap that can't be filled with stuff. So the real escape plan starts in your mind. Ask yourself, what does enough mean to me? What am I chasing and why? If your answer is peace, time, or purpose, you're already thinking differently. Let's imagine a simple scenario. Two people, both earning $80,000 a year. One spends $78,000 and saves almost nothing. The other spends $60,000 and invests $20,000 each year. After 10 years, assuming a modest 6% return, the second person could have over $260,000 in investments. The first person, still running to the next paycheck. Same income, different outcome. The difference isn't luck, it's mindset and choices. And here's the final truth. Escaping the rat race doesn't always mean quitting your job tomorrow. It can mean designing your life so your job is optional. Maybe you still work, but because you want to, not because you have to. That's real freedom. That's what wealth actually means. You can start small, track your spending, build an emergency fund, learn how investing works, start a side project that aligns with your interests. You don't need to go viral or build an empire, you just need to build momentum. Momentum compounds, just like money. One small change each month adds up. And over time, those small changes can pull you off the treadmill and onto your own path. Remember, the rat race isn't just about money, it's about control. When you control your decisions, your time, and your mindset, you've already stepped off the wheel. And if this kind of conversation helps you see money and life differently, take a second to subscribe to Taz's Money. It's a small action, but it keeps you connected to ideas that move you forward. Because at the end of the day, freedom isn't about quitting life, it's about living it on your terms. It's about understanding that the system wants runners, but you can choose to be a builder instead. You can build assets, build skills, build options. And when you do, the race stops feeling like a trap and starts feeling like a choice. So if you're tired of running but don't know where to start with awareness. Start with one less unnecessary purchase this week. Start by saving a small percentage of your income automatically. Start by reading one book about money that challenges your assumptions. Start by talking about money openly instead of hiding from it. You don't have to escape overnight. You just have to start walking toward freedom one step at a time. Because the truth is, the rat race only exists if you keep running in circles. Once you choose a direction, once you build your own lane, you realize the cage was never locked. It was just familiar. And once you see that, you'll never look at the treadmill the same way again.